Hello, everybody. I am Melissa Forziat. I'm a motivational keynote speaker. And when I speak, my topic is Take the Donut, another way to say Carpe Diem. And it's time for another message from Melissa. And this month, I wanted to talk about creation through collaboration. And for a long time, especially because of my business, I've thought about the power of collaboration. But I think I've doubled down on it in these last couple of years, more than I ever had before. And it's something that I think about, particularly from a business standpoint, in almost everything that I do. But I think that you can also apply this message to personal collaboration in whatever form that may look like as well. If you want to more loosely call that relationships, that could work. But this idea of creating through collaborating is so interesting because you can take an idea that you have and you can make it bigger. You can take an idea that you have and you can make it better. You can take an idea that you have and add more resources to it by combining forces with somebody else. And that's something that I've really been exploring. You'll see it in my content. You'll see that I very often am talking with other people and I'm bringing other people in. And that's a really intentional thing for me. It's a way that's easier for me to be social in a lot of aspects. It's interesting for me to do. But also it always becomes a bigger thing than it was if I had done the thing alone. So, when I think about creating through collaborating, that's one of the ways that I think about it. But I also wanted to share an experience that I had at a talk last year. One of my keynotes I did for the Maine Healthcare Association, and I showed up on site and I had my plan for the talk worked out. And then one of their speakers was out. I think maybe there was an illness or they couldn't get to the event. And so they were looking to sort of elongate their day. And I said, look, I can stretch my session a little bit if you need me to. And they were like, well, that could be good. So we were sort of looking at some of the ways we could do that. I was thinking about some of the ways that I could stretch it. And one of the things that they had done was they had bought so much donut stuff for the room. They had donut stuff was everywhere. And they had a bunch of these big blow up like inner tube donuts that they had bought that they were using to decorate the room. And they were like, well, what about if we use these as giveaways? I said, that sounds good. Let me figure out what that would look like. I mean, on the fly, we're coming up with all these ideas. I went into this talk and I was just like, well, let's see. I used my improv skills for sure, but I thought, okay, blow up donuts. Yeah. So I came up with a loose idea for how I could incorporate that into one of the sections. And then during the talk, we were kind of going on the fly with this, and it was okay. We were all game to do it. But, at one point, I decided to make something more interactive in terms of using those giveaways. And I called up the director of the organization and I said, okay, I want you to take these blow up donuts. I took them from the stage. They were decorating the stage. I gave them back to her and I said, I'm going to start asking some questions to the audience, and whoever answers the loudest, you're going to give it to them as a giveaway. And so I got her involved, and she was walking through the room and people were shouting and people were cheering and people wanted to get the attention so they could get a blow up donut. And honestly, it was like kind of chaotic and fun and weird. And I am willing to bet that there are people in the room that that's like the only thing they remember. Like sometimes this stuff is actually the most special part of a talk or a moment or an event. And it's the stuff that you bring with you. And so this idea, all of these things couldn't have happened by myself. It all came from the collaboration of the moment. We were problem solving, we were finding ways together to make a special thing out of extending the time frame of the talk. And it was all creation through collaboration. So, whatever you're doing, whatever you're aiming to do, is there a way to involve another person or multiple people in the process that might actually make it bigger and more wonderful? If there is, what if you tried it? This might be the time to reach out. This might be a good sign for you to do that email, that phone call, that outreach, whatever that looks like, to see what it could be. Take care, everybody.